everyone, time for art again today. We're going to have a go at making some badges today. We haven't got a machine or any kind of device that will help us to make a badge, but we've got the things that we have at home and we're going to use those. Sometimes when we're limited about what we can use, it can actually make us even more creative. Because if you only have a few things, you're going to have to think very carefully and have good ideas about using those things that you have. So I'm going to show you a few things to start off with. We're going to use card mainly. So we can cut card out. This is from a cereal box. You can cut out various sizes, as you can see. You can make some quite large. Obviously, the larger the badge, the heavier it will be. And we're just going to stick these safety pins on the back to hold the badge, and we can wear it. So you don't want it to be anything too heavy. So we've got to watch out for that. I've got a star here, a little semicircle type thing here, hearts, a little landscape shaped card, or you might put your name on there if you wanted to. So we've got plenty of variety just out of cereal box card. I've got some bits of paper here if I want some colour. I have my pens as usual. Here they are, fine liner pens. I've got some three-dimensional little jars here. Maybe we could turn that into a three-dimensional badge. Here's a nice little one here, a little oval-shaped one. We could put something in it and it could move. We'll see how that goes. I've got some tops here from the milk bottle. You could put something inside there and make it a very interesting little badge like that. So we're doing some experimenting with these things and see how we get on as we go. Don't forget, you've got your cards, old greetings cards that you might not want. You can use some of those things as a badge design. This one here's got colours, so I can put my own shape on there. So use anything that you've got at home. I've also got some white paper. What I'm going to do is, when I decide what design I want on my badge, I'm going to try it out on the paper first, and then if I like it, then I'm going to cut it out and I can put it on the badge. Obviously, if I draw on this, I can't get it off again, so it's better to try out on paper first. Okay, my badge shapes, I've cut out of my card, and I used these circular shapes on this to make as a template to draw around, so I could cut them out. And I'm going to do the same with the design of this. I'm going to get my piece of white, and I'm going to put my card on the top like this. I don't even have to draw around it. And I'm just going to carefully cut round. If you find it easier to draw, then you can draw it with your pencil first and then cut it out. And it's another lovely sunshiny day today outside, very fresh and nice. So I'm going to do something about the sun, because I like the sun. And I'll put my little disc up here so you can see it. And I would also like to incorporate some lettering that we did last week as well. So the pens I'm using are fairly fine. I've got my Sharpie, that's the thickest one, and I've got 0.3 millimeter, quite thin, and this one is very thin. It's 5/100ths of a millimeter, 0.05. So it is really thin. I don't even know if you'll be able to see it on here, but we'll give it a try. Okay, I want to put a little sun shape on here. I could draw it on here with my yellow pens, but I'm going to have a go at doing it with paper. So I've cut another circle out the same size, and I'm going to use my very fine pen. If I put it on the top like this, it'll help. And I'm going to put my sun is going to be like this, and the sun rays coming out. I could put some more out here if I wanted to. Maybe some shorter ones. Sometimes things occur to you as you're going along, and that's quite good really. So I'm very carefully now going to cut this out with my scissors. Taking great care. My sunshine here that I've cut out really carefully. I'm going to put the side I haven't drawn on as the right side. So I put on a little bit of glue. If you're gluing things as thin as this, just be very careful. because they pull off fairly easily. So I'm leaning on this bit of paper here, a little bit of card. And then I'm going to try and put it on here. Okay, the paper is just nice and smooth. I can use some pen on it if I wanted to. Yeah, I'm really keen on this dotty business, aren't I? A little bit of that on, not too much. And I want to write a little message on it. I want to write sunshine, because it's a sunshiny day. Sunshine makes us feel a little bit jolly. So let's try. Now that's a bit fine. You can just about see it there. So what I can do is, if I go over it with my pen, doing little strokes, just to make it a bit more substantial. Take it off the paper, and I get my template badge, which is here, and I'm going to put glue on the template badge. I'm going to use a large safety pin for the back, or as large as I've got, and if I open the safety pin, so the pin bit is here, and I'm going to stick it on this, whoopsie, I'm going to stick it on this way so that the pin goes into my top. Okay, so if I hold that, get myself some sellotape, hold my badge in place, and the sellotape is just wide enough to do that, like this. If it goes over the edge, just give it a little trim. Let's see what the front's like. So I choose where I want to put my badge, and then I can pin it to my top very easily. Safety pins are quite an interesting invention. They were first invented about 3,500 years ago by the Mycenaeans, and then human beings kind of forgot about safety pins, and they were reinvented again about 150 years ago by an American. And it was a really simple and very, very effective idea for a safety pin, so that the sharp bit doesn't hurt you. And he got a patent for it because it was his idea. And when you get a patent, you have the right to make some money and make your idea. But he didn't want to do that for one reason or another. So he sold the patent for $400 to another person, and they made safety pins, and they made millions. And the guy who invented it, he gave £15 that he owed to a friend, so he got $385 out of his amazing invention. So sometimes we don't realise what we've got until somebody else does something. So keep working at your art stuff, because good ideas never go bad. Okay, I'm going to make myself a landscape badge. This time I'm going to use some coloured paper. I need a little bit for this side here. If I place my template on the blue, I can just cut round it. You can trace around it with a pencil if you find that easier. So there's my blue sky, so to speak. Glue. Let's put the blue sky on my landscape badge, like that. Next, I'm going to draw on some brown and purple mountains. Let's have some purple. And I'm going to make this slightly three-dimensional with some fake grass, of course. It's not real grass. So if I turn around here, I can cut out my shape. I can cut out my shape on the green. Now I want to make this three-dimensional, so I'm going to fold this in half, like that, and I'm going to do some little snips along here. The finer you cut it, then the more sort of realistic it's going to look on your little badge. Okay, so this is going to go on here. So I'm going to put the glue on this white bit here. And I might have to readjust a little bit. I'm going to readjust this a little bit. I want to see the hills behind. So if I stick it on like this, if I take it off the board, I can see that I've got too much green along here. So all I need to do is just give that a little trim. Let's see what we've got. We've got some grassiness. You can make some little flowers to go down here if you wanted. Some little clouds for the sky and a little sunshine again if you wanted that. I've got my little blue oval here with my sun and cloud, and I've got my plastic pot that goes over the top. But before I stick it on, I've got a little, if you can see here, a little paper ant from yesterday. So that's going to go in there. I'm not going to stick it down so it can wobble about. So I get my glue and I get this plastic pot and I put the glue around the edge. Make sure you've got plenty of glue on the edge. Put the little ant in here and then pop this on the top. And make sure it's well stuck down. And your little ant is sort of like three dimensions inside the little pot like this. And you can put your little safety pin on the back as your badge. This little badge is very easy to make. It's quite thin card. And I got this window from an old piece of packaging. I put some yellow paper behind and with my felt tip pens put on some dotty squiggles. And then I mounted it on blue card just to give it a bit of rigidity. And then in here is just chopped up bits of scrap paper. It's like confetti, and it moves about whenever you move the badge. Little bits move about. So I'm going to put that up there with all my other ones, and you can see you've got quite a collection now. I'll give you some time to look at those in a moment. So here's our collection for the day. You can make a series of badges with the letters of your name if you wanted to. We've got some 3D grassy badge, some templates for you. We're just cutting out here of a cereal box. We've got a little landscape one here. We've got our confetti one. We've got a Thomas the Tank Engine, sunshine. I've put some eyelashes on my goggly eyes. Everyone counts. Little, very simple little colour design. Little shining star. And these little badges are made out of milk bottle tops. They're very easy to make and they're quite effective. So you can see we've done a lot today, and I hope you're able to spend some time making this over the holidays, and please send me some pictures in if you're able to. Bye!